Good morning and welcome to Hit the Spot Radio. It's 9:30 a.m. and I'm your host for today, Anna Ryan. I'm joined by a very special guest, Kate Fisher, the creator of the new box office hit, The Children. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Now, we're very happy to have you on the show today. It's coming close to the release date of your new film, The Children, a gothic psychological thriller with a dramatic twist. It's the unpredictability, which I really love about this movie. Could you just run through for our listeners, what are the conventions of a short film?
Well, we're making a short film. We require limited locations, so we'd have to use about 3 settings at the most. And we also have a limited cast, so we'd have about 2 characters, main characters, which would be a character-led storyline. We'd also have limited dialogue, so we wouldn't have a lot of characters speaking with one another. We'd also have a short story, which would obviously have a basic storyline, so we wouldn't want to overcomplicate it in such a short period of time.
Alright, okay. How does this differ from the conventions of a Hollywood film?
Well, we're making a Hollywood film. It's completely different. There's a lot of dialogue, so you get interaction between characters, and that drives their film storyline. A Hollywood movie would also have a basic structure, so you'd have the equilibrium, the disequilibrium, and then the new equilibrium at the end. Also, of course, a Hollywood movie would have a major budget, and the mise en scène would be completely different. So you've got the settings would be different, you'd have more settings, and the costume would be more varied. You'd have more budget to spend on the costumes, and there'd be more actors, famous actors, and a wider variety of characters. It would also use different editing techniques to portray like the required effect of communication to the audience, such as shot transition and special effects also.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Join us next week for the second part of the interview with the director of The Children, Paige Hulse.
Hi there, and welcome back to Hit the Spot Radio. Last week you were joined by the creator of the film Children, but now I'm here today with the director, Paige Hulse. How are you, Paige?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay, we're going to start off today with a few questions for you. So the first question is, how does your film hold the conventions of a traditional short film? And if so, how?
Well, it's not completely traditional, but we have used a small cast of only 5 actors, and we've tried to stick to a limited amount of locations, so it is not as complicated for us to film.
How many in total did you use locations?
We used 5 in total locations, so yeah, it was only a few, but we managed to keep the story going with them then. We didn't think it was necessary to do any more than that. And we've also used a limited amount of dialogue within the film because we didn't think that it was necessary to have a lot in our film. So we've got about 30 seconds all in all in our film. So yeah, but we contradict the traditional conventions by switching back and forward between flashbacks and then going back to normal time, which doesn't actually follow the normal conventions, but it does still fit in, however, with Todorow's theory.
Could you explain to our audience today what Todorow's theory actually is? Because maybe if you're out there and not too sure.
Yeah, of course. It's basically starting off with an equilibrium and then having changes within the production, high points, low points, a bit of tension building up, and then ending with an equilibrium at the end. And we have actually followed that within our production, which does fit in with the conventions of a short film.
But with quite a bit of different variety rather than the standard
Yeah.
procedure. Okay, cool. So the next question is, because the genre of the film is a psychological thriller, does it change the conventions of this particular genre, or does it pretty much fit in with what you expect from this sort of film?
Well, the conventions of a normal psychological thriller, they need to use like airy music to add to the tension and to build that. We need fast transactions to build up the momentum to keep people on the edge of their seats.
Sure.
We needed to use dark locations and creepy settings, the creepy characters, the bad guy, and an innocent person to be the victim of this. So yeah, we've used that airy music to engage the audience and keep them in the right mindset. We've used the fast transactions, and the locations were very dark and creepy. And also the character, the old man, he was creepy and weird. But we've also used another character which is seen as the innocent character.
The young child.
Yes,
Yeah.
the young child. that's obviously contradicted in the fact that of the twist of the film that changes, and it's kind of a role reversal where the child becomes that evil and not so innocent child victim. So that way we've created a bit of a contradicting.
Okay, so it's quite a massive twist which affects the film greatly.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I've just got one more question for you. The devices you use for the promotional tools, the radio and the magazine review.
Yeah.
Of course, when you design magazine and radio reviews, there are conventions again you have to follow. Do you think that you followed these conventions quite well?
Well, yeah, I think we have. We researched into other magazine articles. We saw that we needed large pictures to demonstrate the important images of the movie to capture the audience's attention and think, oh, I'd like to go and see that. That looks like a good film. We've got a detailed and informative review on the magazine article of the film, like not giving away too much, but enough to capture their attention.
To draw them in.
Yeah, to lure them in, if it were. And
just like the old man did.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got the traditional running time certificate, etc. And there's also a star rating from the magazine, which was also good, and we were quite happy that it had achieved 5 stars, which is good. That's what we were aiming for. Yeah, so we thought we wouldn't make it too complicated. We'd make it so that we used language that the audience could understand and realise what the film was about.
Therefore,
rather than
attracting a wide range of audiences,
exactly,
right?
Rather than just a niche audience. That's not what we didn't want to isolate anybody in particular. So yeah.
Okay, and the radio trailer that went down quite well, didn't it?
Yeah. It was approximately like 1 minute long, so it wasn't too long to bore people. So like, oh God, what is this? But enough time to make people think that sounds good. I want to go and see that. So we've used clips from the film and sound clips to have a little bit of a taster to engage the listeners, and we've used a bit of dramatic narration. And so that was used in order to create a tense atmosphere, to build tension for them also to be like, I want to go and see this. This is a film for me.
Okay. Well, that film was out on the 19th of May, so make sure you go down there and check that out. And we're back here next week with Steven Spielberg.